Speaking of Brad Pitt and guys that don't look anything like Brad Pitt, here's Brent Wilsey.
There we
Brent
go.
Wilsey Asset Management.
Another loser in the lookalike contest. Welcome.
Hey, we're in the contest, so
Wilsey
that's
looks
good.
like himself, though. You know, Brent is. Someday I want to do a whole photo spread of Brent Wilsey.
Yeah.
Because you see him all buttoned up here
Look
as
at
a
him.
money manager.
Always.
But
Never
if you're a Facebook fan, he's one of the hippest dudes in town.
Really? I'm going to go to his Facebook.
No,
page.
I mean I'm not kidding you when I say that. That I am categorically the most unhip guy.
Yeah.
Next to you, who's basically Jimmy Buffett incarnated.
You go out once with a Nehru jacket and a medallion, and you're labeled as a bad dresser.
Brent Wilsey, on the other hand, he's got all. I had no idea because you meet these guys, and they're smart money manager guys. They're very conservative. They've managed $1 billion worth of assets, and then you see them like in their Facebook stuff, and they're with
Well, there's a certain outfit that goes with managing money.
And I got a surprise for you. On Thursday night is the San Diego's 10 Best Dressed Awards.
You're in it, aren't you?
I'm one of them.
I know
What?
you are.
Yeah.
What? No, I told you. I told you. I am so not surprised.
It'll be
by
on
any of this.
Facebook on Friday.
Yes,
Man.
How did you get involved in that? I mean, did somebody point
Somebody
you out?
nominates you, and it's not just how you look. It's also for the community, what you do for the community. There's a street named after me for charity and so forth. So there's a lot of different things that I've done.
Do you know what Russ and I have?
Yeah. It's coming, though. I feel a big...
Hey, Brent, good to see you.
Sure.
Muted. By the way, Brent Wilsey, Redshirt Investment Advisor, seasoned financial strategist. He's got a lot of years' experience broadcasting on radio and television. He also runs Wilsey Asset Management. And as I said before, he's one of the smartest guys with respect to business. And what's interesting is me being, Joe Sixpack coming from investment banking. I'm on the company side. I used to raise money for public companies, and such. He's the retail guy who handles individual and investments. What's interesting is I'm more of a technician. I'll look at the tea leaves and the news, and he'll look at the fundamentals in the news. And it makes for a really actually the two of us together be great stock pickers together.
yeah.
And we always have been sort of.
Well, thanks for starting a club without me, fellas.
Well, no,
We'll
you're
let him in.
the
Can
guy
I
we're trying to
just-
teach. So it actually works out well.
See, we all fit in.
The
Milking
the
stool.
interesting part is we've had an interesting market lately, and that market. The volatility seems to have gone away, but the excitement has gone a long way with it. I mean, if the Dow, the Nasdaq, the S&P goes in the positive at all the next couple of days, we have new records and such. But
Right.
it's almost an oh by the way type thing right now. Are we waiting for the chips to fall here, Brent?
No, what we're waiting for, and I know it's going to happen. I shouldn't say no, but I'm very confident it's going to happen.
There you go.
Is we're going to have a very good. I mean, this is now November already. I keep talking about.
So our fourth quarter is going to kill.
It's going to kill. I mean, we had great employment numbers last week. We've got good manufacturing numbers coming out. GDP is coming out pretty good. We've got all these fundamentals are coming together. We're going to have a good holiday season, and consumer confidence was at high levels. I'm seeing things that have not happened since 2000. So we've got some good fundamentals out there. But you're right, the excitement is just like
I don't. It's because
yawning
if
right
you
now.
look at the chart, I mean, look at the chart of the Nasdaq, for example. You would think that we would be exuberant like 2005 right now. And look at our housing.
Right.
Housing numbers are up. The interest rates are down. The market's going crazy. The published unemployment rate is down to 6%, if you believe that sort of thing.
Right.
But what seems to be muted is I'm not even going to say consumer sentiment's muted. I think investor sentiment is muted, and I don't know why.
And
do you feel that way with your clients too?
Not my clients. I mean, we just went through October and people were panicking and so forth, and we did about millions of dollars during October because it was such a great time. It was rather exciting, but we had people start saying, "Oh, see, I knew it was going to happen. I better get out before I lose everything."
Oh boy.
Yeah, exactly. And we're buying like crazy. Now that's come and gone. Now we're back to kind of like a yawning thing. But don't yawn. This is when you want to find those good companies because. And again, if you look at 2015, there are so many good numbers on 2015, and I don't have them here with me, unfortunately. But
In the crystal ball, you're saying.
in the crystal ball.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
Actually, it's the fifth, the five of the decade, going back to the 1930s. There's never been a down year with that happening. There's so many numbers.
Well, keep in mind, November going back to 1950 goes to the best 6 months of the year
Yes. Yep.
coming up for investors. So I think we should.
Do people do that? Do they do that, come invest for only part of the year, and then the rest of it they just kind of sideline it? Like,
Well, I think there's the sell and may go away. I think there's strategies for times of the year. Now, if you're a buy and holder, obviously you have your buy and hold holdings going on there. But I think there's certain things that you moved. You do some movement of asset allocation during the course of the year, don't you?
No, it's all based on the value of a company. I don't care what happens in the market. You close the market, wouldn't care. I'm looking at the value of a company, and what I'm seeing right now, when we're doing numbers every Monday, a lot of our companies are getting close to that sell level, and I'm hoping it doesn't happen until January because I don't want more tax.
How do you determine, Brent, when a company is to the point where it is, you've got the free fall that goes on, and obviously, and I hold the philosophy that I don't ever get back in until I see a trend up a little bit, because again, just because something's cheap doesn't mean it's not going to get cheaper. But then again, there's those companies like, let's say Starbucks, for example.
Right.
Starbucks is in the tank. It's not going anywhere.
Right.
So, do you take a leap sometimes in a company that is established that is going to be there? I mean, how do you know when something's cheap enough to start buying again?
And my philosophy is I don't know what the absolute bottom is, and I'm not going to try to pick it. What I do see is good value. And a good example right now is oil companies, oil drillers.
Oh.
They are in the tank right now. But when you look at their earnings and what they're doing, we have our oil drilling company that came down from probably 50%. Their earnings fell going forward by 10 cents. They're still making tons of money. Just because oil's at $75 a barrel, a lot of these companies can make money at $50 a barrel because of what they do. So the emotional response brings that company down. We've stepped in. We bought a lot of this oil drilling company, and I've done this with the banks back when banks are going to fail. I've done this with insurance companies. The insurance companies. I've done this with all these companies. And what I like to do is find companies that are broken for the short term.
Kodak.
Kodak was I'm so glad you brought that up, because Kodak was a thing that was not going to fix. And again, I have a company that we wrote about last week in our newsletter called Genworth. Genworth does long-term care policies, and I was so excited about these numbers. They look so strong, and I say, wow, this looks good. But when I did the research, I realized they have long-term care policies, and what's happening? People are living longer. That's not going to change.
In fact, it's going to go longer.
They're going to go longer. This company's dying because of that. They had to do a goodwill impairment of $500 million. They had to write down another $500 million for reserves. Man. The stock fell 35% one day. Numbers look great, but you've got to understand the business, and that's so important to understand. It's not a fixable problem.
Let's talk about the jobs report. Jobs report, is that something that I am always suspect of the jobs report. Because the Bureau of Labor Statistics, I don't care what kind of political fence you're on, but you always seem to see the Bureau of Labor Statistics adding or subtracting jobs right before an election. And they come up with these numbers out of nowhere.
Right.
How dependable is a 6% unemployment rate?
Well, actually, it's 5.8.
Right.
So 5.8, yeah. It is dependable, and I tell people it is a statistical analysis. It's not going to be exactly. No one goes around and counts everybody that gets a job.
There are those that say it's really 10% if you count marginal jobs. And so is that what? And then, of course, you've got the part-timers. What's the real story there?
Right. And I had somebody send me an email this past week saying, well, but half those jobs are part-timers. I go, well, no, look at what the average work week is. It's still 34.6 hours, up from 34.5. If more part-timers were coming on, the average work week would drop, not go up. So no, there are part-timers coming to that job, but you got college students, you've got people that don't want to work full-time. But our employment situation is getting better.
Okay. Can I steal you later in the week so I can talk to you about retail sales and stuff like that?
I'll be here.
You're committed. And then we've got the Best Dressed Awards on Thursday night. You and I are hosting.
Wow. Can I wear this?
A little bit of scratch might get you in there, Wilsey.
How can you not vote for this?
Brent Wilsey, Wilsey Asset Management, wilseyassetmanagement.com. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.